Can we not immediately jump into your mega L takes? A mega L. I do think this is my deranged take, but I don't think like really good art can be made by somebody who doesn't suffer. That's my deranged take. I feel like people who suffer immensely or have suffered immensely make better art than people who have lived very cushioned lives. Fledex, thank you. Want good art? Watch Bug Fights by Neuralviz. We already watched Neuralviz. Normal take, very true. You ain't wrong. Okay, I'm glad you guys agree. Like, I would call it deranged. That's a trash take. Oh, Linuru, thank you, but everyone suffers in their own ways. There's like suffering, like, oh man, I'm so anxious, it's hard to make a phone call. And then there's, which I'm not like shitting on, you know, like I too have social anxiety. I've gotten better about it over time, but like there's like that kind of like quote unquote suffering. And then there's like, oh man, my parents beat me when I was a kid or whatever the fuck. And it's like, well, one of these gives a deeper, innate understanding of suffering than the other, you know? One of these broadens an artist's toolkit immensely, you know? In my opinion. Yeah, one of these is not like the other. Suffering is subjective. One can suffer more from a spilled drink than the other from leg torn off. I agree with that to an extent. But the person who this comparison doesn't work, where the person who spilled their drink is not going to suffer long-lasting trauma. Yeah, it's not that subjective. The other person who's missing a leg is now permanently missing a leg. Even if they didn't feel any pain in the moment, they're going to live with that for the rest of their lives. The person who spilled a drink can get another drink. Simpler, thank you. Peppers, I just got off the patrol training. Thank you for all your streams. They kept me and when I went home, me for the 2 houses between shifts. Oh, if you're ever in Hollywood, you can commit all the crimes you want and I'll let you get away with it. All right, I'll hit up Hollywood and I don't know what I would do there. I don't know what kind of crimes I'd want to commit in Hollywood. Maybe I'll feed a homeless person an Oreo filled with toothpaste like that one YouTuber. I'm not gonna do that. It depends on how you represent your suffering. Everything can be a tragedy if you are creative enough. I disagree. I think there's a sort of here's my, maybe it's not cringe. I don't know. I feel self-conscious now calling my takes cringe because when I say they're cringe, people tend to agree with them, ironically. I think true suffering is its own thing. I think true suffering is a sort of enlightenment upon the soul. Not to get like religious about it, but like to truly suffer is something that cannot be understood by somebody who has not truly suffered. A person whose concept of suffering is, I spilt my drink, this is horrible, I have trauma. Their concept of suffering is not the same as somebody who has truly, thoroughly experienced pain. And I think it's that experience of pain that allows some artists to create more depth in their art because they understand something that perhaps the average person has not. But you cannot quantify or compare suffering in an objective manner whatsoever. I think that's copium by people who haven't suffered. Brian Gold, thank you. I think that's copium from people who are like, well, I had a shit life. And it's like, well, did you truly suffer? Hence why J.R. Tolkien was a good writer. PTSD? Hell yeah. My pain is greater. It's not about the fucking, like, oppression Olympics or whatever. It's not like... Derpy the Dater, thank you. I think that suffering is only one facet of developing emotional depth. One can draw from other strong feelings like profound joy. I agree. I think somebody who has experienced a sense of truly profound joy is also going to create better art than somebody whose biggest joy in life is they got a really tasty drink at Starbucks. But Pippa, you can't objectively compare and quantify profound joy. Okay, well, I'm going to anyways, because I think, like, people who have had children, to me, they just look objectively happier in general. The ones who like their kids, anyways, seem to have a more profound sense of joy than somebody who's like, oh, I'm so happy they released a Pokemon that I really like. Or this is my favorite Pokemon, you know? Compare somebody and their favorite Pokemon to somebody who deeply loves their family or their kids or whatever the hell. I'm sorry. Pippa, you can't quantify it. Whatever, dude. Agree to disagree. I'm not changing my mind on this one. I think it goes both ways for joy and for suffering. Mr. Erling, if it was a one-off drip painting would be neat as an expression of the boundaries of the medium. The fact that Pollock did hundreds of them, but they're indistinguishable, makes them boring. I do agree with that. I think like one painting that was just like a statement piece against realism could have been interesting, but oh my god, mass manufactured. You need strong emotions to draw upon. You're so edgy. How am I edgy? I think you're just dumb. What is life without profound emotion?
everybody, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Low Effort Clips. That's right, Low Effort Clips, right here on YouTube.com. Yeah, and hit the notification bell. Yeah.